Welcome back to Nightmare Theatre. I'm your host, Arthur Pembroke. Tonight's story is another original tale by yours truly. The idea came to me when my daughter brought home a painting of Elmo from school. It was very well done, but something about how he looked at you made me feel uneasy. It was almost as if the Elmo painting had a life of its own. Tonight's story is called Never Play Hide and Seek with Elmo, and I hope you enjoy it. It was late, far too late for a grown man to be babysitting, but here I was, stuck watching my sister Karen's 5-year-old son, Timmy. The house was quiet, the kind of eerie quiet you notice when all you want is for the night to end. Timmy sat cross-legged on the living room floor, clutching his worn-out Elmo doll like it was his best friend in the world. Timmy sat on the floor, hugging his worn-out Elmo doll, eyes wide with excitement. The TV flickered softly in the background, casting eerie shadows that danced across the walls. I was exhausted, but Timmy's energy hadn't faded a bit. "Play hide and seek with Elmo," Timmy chirped, clutching the doll tight. I groaned, rubbing my eyes. "Buddy, it's late. One game, then bed, okay?" He smiled wide, nodding. "Elmo wants to play too." The way he said it sent a chill down my spine. I sighed, glancing at the Elmo doll. It had seen better days, its once bright red fur now matted and dull. Something about the doll always creeped me out, its wide plastic eyes frozen in a perpetual stare that felt a little too knowing. It's almost as if the thing was watching me. But I wasn't going to freak out over a toy. I was an adult. "All right, buddy, just one game, then it's bedtime," I said, hoping to get it over with. "I'll count to 20. You and Elmo go hide." I leaned against the wall, covering my eyes with my hand. 1, 2, 3. I counted slowly, listening to Timmy's tiny footsteps as he scurried across the hardwood floor. My mind wandered as I counted, fatigue washing over me. The quiet hum of the house returned, but something about the silence made my skin crawl. 20! Ready or not, here I come!" I called. The house was dark, except for the dim glow of a nightlight in the hallway. I made my way toward the kitchen, pretending to look behind chairs and under the table. But my mind was elsewhere, on that damn doll. It wasn't just the way it stared, it was the way Timmy treated it, like it had a mind of its own. Kids had imaginations, sure, but this felt different. It felt off. As I neared the kitchen, I heard a faint noise. Not Timmy's laugh, but something else, something wet. A soft, rhythmic drip, drip, drip echoed from around the corner. I froze. My stomach churned as I turned the corner into the kitchen. And then I saw it. My sister, Karen, was lying in a pool of blood. Her eyes stared blankly at the ceiling, her throat slashed open. Blood soaked her clothes, spreading out across the linoleum floor in a grotesque red halo. I staggered back, my breath catching in my throat. "Karen, oh my God!" I stumbled toward her, but I knew it was too late. Her body was cold, pale, completely lifeless. I fell to my knees beside her, my heart pounding, bile rising in my throat. That's when I heard it. A soft giggle. I turned, and there was Timmy. He stood in the doorway, his Elmo doll clutched tightly in one hand. But the other hand held a large, blood-soaked knife. Timmy smiled, his eyes wide, glassy, almost vacant. "Elmo says we're good at hiding," he whispered, his voice devoid of any emotion. My mind reeled, trying to process what I was seeing. Timmy was just a kid, a sweet, innocent kid. He couldn't have done this. But the blood on his hands, the look in his eyes... My stomach twisted as the truth crashed into me like a tidal wave. Timmy had cut open her throat and killed her. "No, no, 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 Timmy, what did you do?" I croaked, my voice barely a whisper. "Elmo wanted to play," he said, his voice high and sing-songy, like this was all some innocent game. The doll, still clutched in his arm, seemed to almost glow in the dim light, its wide plastic grin fixed on me. I couldn't breathe. My legs felt frozen, paralyzed with terror as Timmy slowly walked toward me, the knife gleaming in his tiny hand, dripping blood with each step. "Timmy, put the knife down," I whispered, my voice shaking. "It's not a game anymore, buddy. We need to get help." "Elmo says we're not done yet," Timmy replied, his voice eerily calm. He lifted the Elmo doll, holding it up to his face like he was listening to it. "Elmo wants you to play too." My skin crawled as Timmy took another step forward, his wide eyes reflecting the cold steel of the blade. It was like looking at a stranger. My nephew wasn't in there anymore. "Elmo found you?" Timmy whispered, echoing the voice from earlier. His small, blooded fingers gripped the knife tighter, raising it slightly. I scrambled back, my feet slipping in the blood that pooled beneath Karen's body. My back hit the kitchen counter, and I gasped, desperate to find anything, something, to defend myself. I felt around blindly, my heart hammering in my chest. My fingers closed around the handle of a frying pan, and I grabbed it, holding it between me and Timmy. "Timmy, stop!" I yelled, my voice breaking. "This isn't you, it's the doll! Elmo's not real, he can't make you do this!" But Timmy only giggled, a soft, eerie sound that echoed through the kitchen. "Elmo says it's your turn to hide," he said, and without warning he lunged at me, the knife flashing toward my chest. I swung the frying pan, the metal connecting with his small body with a sickening thud. He collapsed onto the floor, the knife clattering out of his hand. I scrambled away, panting, tears streaming down my face as I looked at Timmy's small, motionless body lying next to Karen's. But before I could catch my breath, I heard it. That horrible sing-song voice. "Elmo's still playing?" I looked down, and there, sitting in the pool of blood, was the Elmo doll. Its plastic eyes gleamed in the dim light, and in its tiny hands it still held the blood-soaked knife. "Elmo found you," it whispered, its voice distorted and cruel. Before I could scream, the doll's mouth twisted into a wide, hideous grin, and then it lunged. And that is all for tonight. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to listen to the SpongeBob SquarePants horror story I posted as well. Both stories are original works, and I hope you enjoy them. Let me know if you want to hear more about Elmo or other characters. Enjoy your night, everyone.